Hello, my name is Margaret Gallagher, journalist at CBC Vancouver and host of Hot Air on CBC Radio 1. And it is my honor to introduce this special, one-of-a-kind Indigenous jazz fusion performance by Kwantlen First Nations group Stomach Shwale, also known as Warrior Spirit, and the Vancouver-based jazz trio Triology. I'm grateful to be on the land of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations, and this pre-recorded concert was commissioned by the Odlum Brown Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival. It features 6 Kwantlen First Nations drummers and singers performing original sacred Indigenous songs, and they are joined by Triology with original jazz music composed by members of the trio. This collaborative project was led by Kwantlen First Nations cultural advisor and leader of Warrior Spirit, Dennis Leon, and Jody Prosnick from Triology. Warrior Spirit members include Richie Seward, Robert Jimmy, Michael Kelly Gabriel, Cassandra Antone, and Michelle Saul. And Triology is made up of Jody Prosnick on bass, Miles Black on piano and flute, and Bill Kuhn on guitar. This performance showcases the rich culture, music, tradition, and stories of the Kwantlen First Nations community together with original jazz music in a new and innovative way. And as Kwantlen First Nations Chief Marilyn Gabriel says, this is a collaborative work of fusion art, work of reconciliation, work of acceptance. This is history in the making. It is a teaching moment on each side. It is a learning moment. This performance was recorded in the Kwantlen First Nations Longhouse, and it includes behind-the-scenes footage and interviews with the performers on the making of the video, conducted by former CBC Almanac radio host Mark Forsyth. This performance is presented by Kwantlen Polytechnic University and supported by First Peoples Cultural Council and the Vancouver Fraser Port Authority, proudly representing the Port of Vancouver. Thank you so much for watching.
Osiam, Siamosias, Siamoswalakwa, Etasqualawa to Kwantlen Tumuch, Equus Aquasit. Zaitumtin to Quomuch Squeak to Lito Qua Kwantlen. I'd just like to welcome you all to traditional Kwantlen territory. My traditional name is Zaitumtin. This is my family, the Warrior Spirit Singers. And we're here to share some good medicine with everybody. We thank you for being here and taking your time to thank the band. Haichka. Yes.
Hi there, my name's Mark Forsyth, and I'm a resident here in Fort Langley, a former host with CBC Radio in British Columbia, and a member of the Langley Heritage Society here in the Langley region, and we're really happy to be part of the annual Jazz and Arts Festival. It's an amazing thing that's been created here, and every year it seems to get more creative and more energy and more exciting. And two people are joining me right now after that wonderful performance to talk about the evolution of this collaboration between jazz musicians and traditional Kwantlen singers. And Dave Quinn is the artistic director at the Jazz Festival. And Dennis Leon is head of Warrior Spirit. He's also cultural advisor to the Kwantlen people here. We are in Kwantlen territory right now, and thanks, Dennis, for letting us come. And after that performance, how does it feel?
It feels really good. Just to have the energy of the band singing with the harmony of our voice and the beat of our drum. The sound really took the flow inside the room here felt really good. with all of the energy that was put out through all of the musicians and the singers.
And it's a longhouse format, and the sound is beautiful in here. It rises to the ceiling, and that was part of the special energy in the room, I think. Dave, where did you come up with this idea to marry jazz? You're a jazz musician, and with traditional song from the Kwantlen.
You know, right from the beginning, in 2018, we started the festival up. We wanted to involve the entire community. In my thinking about it, I wanted compositions, original compositions for this, because the First Nations, they have stories that they want to tell, and I thought that it would be greatly enhanced with another form of music, as backing that up and collaborative working. It was just an idea, and I'm glad that we followed through with it.
And Dennis, what did you think when you heard this request? We want to do music together.
Oh, I jumped at the opportunity. Like, I love all kinds of music. I grew up a musical person. Like, I listen to everything. I listen to blues, jazz. I even listen to heavy metal. I listen to power music, round dance, just everything. Anything that's got a beat, that's what I pick up on. I feed off of that.
Tell us about Warrior Spirit. Who are these people, and how did you come together for this?
Oh, Warrior Spirit is... we've been singing together for a few years, but we've never had a name for our group, and this name came to us. We wanted to share our medicine through the beat of our drum and the harmony of our voice, and just be part of the community, and putting ourselves out there, and collaboration with the lovely jazz band. I couldn't put enough good words for them. I'm excited.
Dave, you know how to pick people, because you have to tell us a little bit about Triology. These are some of the finest musicians
They're leaders
in British Columbia and beyond, right?
Triology is Jody Posnick is the leader, Miles Black, and Bill Kuhn, and all three are exceptional composers, and so that made a difference to me right there. Just the fact that they would be able to write each song themselves, and so the idea of collaborating was that the jazz, it had to be jazz, and we wanted to, the First Nations group spirit, Warrior Spirit, to feel that and be able to and have that interaction. It's all about the interactiveness of what the experience is all about. It's almost magical. Well, it was magical, yeah.
We are back to talk with Triology about this collaboration and what it felt like and what it took to actually create this wonderful mix and blend of jazz and traditional song from the Kwantlen people as well. Jody, Bill, and Miles are with us. And Jody, how does it feel after this performance and you've had a chance to come down from it and absorb it?
Oh, I feel emotional. I feel grateful. I feel like my heart has opened. And yeah, it's just been a wonderful journey to this point, and I'm very excited to share it with the world. Yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
And when Dave comes to you from the Jazz Festival and says, we'd like you to work with the Kwantlen warrior spirit on this, what did you think and how did you go about that?
Well, I was really excited because collaborations are so much fun. I was excited by the challenge of it, and also had a real reverence and respect for making sure we handled the collaboration with love and intention and generosity of spirit, and also I did ask a number of friends who are from the Indigenous community for a little bit of guidance, because I wanted to make sure we entered this space with the reverence I think it deserves, especially for this moment in history. I know we've all been deeply impacted by the news, and this was sort of a really profound opportunity to enact reconciliation in real time through art, which art, of course, is an invitation. It's not a dictation. So it is, in a way, kind of one of the perfect things to gather in community and to share and to hopefully, as our beautiful friends have talked about, offer some medicine for ourselves and to each other and to the world at large.
That's a message about reconciliation, I guess, that we could all take to heart. Your approach to the musical collaboration, too. Bill, what was it like to perform in this space, this longhouse space?
Well, first of all, it's a beautiful space. There's a lot of wood in this space, and I think, like most musicians, I feel that when you're playing in a space that has great acoustics, it inspires you. And so, that alone would have been great. But then knowing that this space is so important to the people we were playing with, it made it even more meaningful. And so yeah, the space on its own it's got beautiful acoustics, and then there's the history of the space and the importance of the space and the Indigenous culture. So it was quite moving.
Miles, how did you approach bringing the two worlds together, jazz and traditional song?
Well, yeah, it sort of befuddled, I think, the three of us when we first thought about how to do this, because you don't often think of the music of the Indigenous people and jazz coming together. And the three of us had to think carefully about what we were going to bring to the table in terms of compositions, what would be the kind of music we could create that would allow interaction and also inspire all of us to participate all together in the music. So it was just really kind of almost a social experiment, Mark, for us.
A lot of listening at the beginning, I bet.
Yeah, at first we were very tentative. In fact, I don't think we jammed with them at all at first. We just listened a lot carefully, and we were lucky to have a few occasions to come into this wonderful space and be just present with the music. And then we had to go home and do a lot of just sort of daydreaming about how this would fit.
Yeah, and that listening session went both ways, right? Because the Spirit Warriors were also listening to what we did, and we were listening to them. So.
And then I think we were encouraging them to say, no, please feel free to join us. We love the sound of your instruments along with our music. It's fascinating to hear that combination. And then for us to participate with them was a great privilege, a wonderful, soulful, healing opportunity for us too.
Jody, I think that starts to happen in the song Schweg. As people were listening, that's when we heard you start playing together. And how did you create that little space in the middle to come together?
Well, it's interesting. I think one of the lessons I've learned through this process is that relationships take time, and creativity is something that, an imaginative play is something you can't will to happen. You sort of have to create the space, and then invite the spirit to move and the art to take shape. So I think having a couple of times to gather together and to create a sense of relationship, we had some laughs, you know.
And that trust sort
The
of developed,
trust
right?
develops
Yeah.
over time. And then you don't will it to happen, it just happens. And again, it's literally walking in the space with a humble heart. And in circle, really, we were in circle together. And also with the idea, though, we were invited into their space as well. So just how can we serve? And yeah, it just emerges from there. It's kind of magical, and I think at jazz at its best is that as well. So in some ways, being jazz artists and improvising musicians and composers, you know, we sort of have our satellite dishes out anyway, and you're also looking for nonverbal cues, and you're trying to like read the room and sort of offer something that isn't taking the energy away, but contributing to the energy as a collective. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm talking with my hands.
Then the
but-
pizza and the bannock sealed the deal at the end, right?
Yes. And then we had pizza.
That was great.
are going to continue our discussion of this wonderful collaboration. Michael Gabriel is joining us, a member of Warrior Spirit. Congratulations, everyone. That was a fantastic performance, and I could tell from the smiles and some tears that it was successful. It was moving. Michael, what did you think of this?
I knew it was something special. And the reason why I knew it was something special is because me and my brother, Satesonton are here, my brother, he sits right beside me. He's one of my teachers in my community. And we brought a new song because I could hear songs, I catch songs along my journeys of life. And we just completed that song and we brought it here. And they said, let's warm up this room. Let's warm up our voices. That's what Bro said. So we started singing that song. And I knew it was special because right away, all three of these wonderful people that are gifted with the instruments caught on. And just like that, we connected and they started strumming along with us.
Dennis, I think you call it good medicine that you were sending out here in the Longhouse. And is there a new description for what you've created? You have the traditional song plus the jazz. What comes of that? What do you think it might be?
I'm not sure what to call it, but it's definitely some new feelings and vibes that that are passed through, kind of goes right through our soul, and the way all the music was expressed all together collaboratively, it felt really right.
What's contained in these songs, Michael?
Prayer. And when I think of the collaboration, the words that keep popping in my head when I'm praying right now is soul and shwali. Soul and spirit hand in hand together. When we sit together and we collaborate, that's what I feel. Soul and shwali, to honor our brothers and our sisters that made this music of jazz, and then also to honor our ancestors that left it behind.
the underpinning of this is the traditional Kwantlen songs, stories, prayer, but you each brought your own compositions to this. And Bill, maybe talk a bit about what you created to be part of this experiment.
Yeah, well, Dave sent us some video of this group playing, and we all watched it, and I think kind of like what Miles said, you know, how are we going to, this is great as it is, what are we going to do to make, not to make it better, but how are we going to find our place in this, you know? And so, yeah, that was a great idea, I think, to have us bring compositions to that. And in my case, I was able to listen to that video, and then I went and I wrote this tune, and it kind of, some tunes take a long time. This one kind of appeared, and Michael was talking about how there are songs in the air, and sometimes I believe that if you can kind of listen.
Grab it.
And grab it, yeah. So that's kind of what happened to me, and I ended up calling it, first I called it Tomorrow, but then I thought of a song from Annie, and I don't think that would work very well. So I changed the name, and I called it Better Days Ahead.
Good choice.
Miles, so talk about what you brought to.
Right. Well, I brought in a song called Traditional Man, which I wrote. The genesis of that tune came about when I was 20 years old, and it started with a bass line that just like boom, boo, 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 do, 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 da, boom, bum, 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 bum. So that had been rattling around in my head since '86, and all these years, my wife is like, "I love that bass line, Miles. You've got to finish it. Please finish Tradition." I had the title. And then finally one day, I just went bang and wrote it out like really quickly. I guess because it had been gestating for decades.
Yeah.
So, and it just felt right. It felt like it had all the elements in it, and it goes to kind of a jazz feel in the middle, like a blues thing, like a Nina Simone, Coltrane kind of vibe in the middle, which I think incorporates some of the better elements of our trio, you know.
Time and place for everything, right?
Yeah.
This was the right
Yeah.
time. And Joey?
Yeah, so I brought in two compositions I actually wrote many years ago as well, and I released on my last record. And they actually have a vocalist, so there are lyrics, poetry to it. But the reason why I pulled these songs in particular, I thought they were appropriate. They really were written in response to nature, being in nature, and using nature as sort of a medicinal place for me, a place to go to heal from things that were happening in my life at the time. Coupled with I have done a lot of collaborating with a wonderful poet named Celeste Snowbird, and she wrote this piece of poetry called Ancient Yearning. And we did a piece together, and I wrote the song when I heard the piece of poetry, and the words were just so appropriate. We are the language of stars, torsos spinning in light. Primal song resides in our flesh. Commune with the infinite underbelly of heart. Let what we long for come to the surface. Tears and trees are our prayers. Creation lives within us. Ancient beginnings yearning for home. So that piece of poetry was like, that is this project. And then we segued into Storm, which has this drumming in it. It was actually kind of an Afro-Cuban groove. And the lyric I wrote with my little son in the kitchen. We used to march around the kitchen. And it was, the storm is coming, gotta hold on tight, put your roots down deep, lift your branches high, because beyond the clouds, there are stars in the sky. And it was my little mantra for my 3-year-old at the time. So it just felt that the lyric, even though we didn't sing the lyric, it was embedded in the song. It felt appropriate.
CMLCIS, a Kwasami Alat, the Kwantlen, Saltamuk, Hichapka, Hichka.
I just wanted like Dennis, Michael, Michelle, Cassandra, Sheila, Tara, my wife, the chief, Stakwasan. I just always honored to come to share medicine with each and every one of you, but also to listen to somebody else's medicine. Sometimes we need this ourselves. So it works together hand in hand. And then for the ones that are doing the work, I thank you for the beautiful gifts that you have. You know, and we do a lot of these pre-recordings, and we know the gifts that each and every one of you have, and your beautiful team. I'm just honored to be here with our family to come and share our medicine, and I hope we've done you well. Well, Sam.
Hey, Swill, Siaya. Thank our Chitzel Siam, that's the teachings that my uncle Yuchin Harry shared with me. We always thank our Creator and thank our ancestors before us, because without them being strong and surviving through lots, through residential school, smallpox, all that, and surviving for us to keep our culture alive. Our Chitzel Siam always shares all the time. Our old ones there, the Creator has left things for us behind to take care of ourselves. And our drums are one of the things that bring people together, but also channels our ancestors to come down and join us through this time, this tough time through COVID. So I hope these songs that we share, these prayers, this is not a performance. This is our way of prayer. So ACM. And pass it over to our hereditary CM, Stapusan, to share some words.
All humans need medicine. They need prayer at some point in their life. And to have this combination today felt so right. It just felt right. I felt the ancestors. These are our ancestors sitting here beside us. There's no, you see, it may seem like an empty building, but it is with all our ancestors, even yours, are all down here today saying prayer for all of us around the world. We're not stingy with our gifts. These ladies have the most beautiful voices in the world, and the men have such strong medicine. But me, I forget I'm part of it, and I just want to listen. That's how powerful it is to me and to our people. And I am so glad we're sharing it together. Yayista, working together. Lotsama, one mind, one heart, one spirit. On an island, it's Natsama, we're all one. And we have to continue sharing that with everyone, because our world's in turmoil right now. But we can keep showing them little ways and little gestures that we can get along. We don't have to have any words to be together today. It was all based on the love of your prayers, your music, our prayers and our beliefs and our ancestors and our prayer, our belief of prayer. And I thank you for sharing that, not being stingy. You pass your teachings on. You pass that medicine on. We all need it. Like my husband said, it was our medicine today, having you friends here today. We all need to fill ourselves up with love and kindness and respect. So I thank you for coming out and sharing your beautiful medicine. Asya.
Yes.